Okay, done reading? It is given to us to be y equals to a over x minus b. Now, you must be able to tell me, is this straight line? If I plot y against x, is it going to be a straight line? Really? No, you look carefully at my vertical axis and my horizontal axis. Is this going to be a straight line? Yes or no? Okay, now you all are confusing between small y, small x versus big Y, big X. For now, forget what you learned yesterday. Okay, forget all your linear law. You see this equation. Is this a straight line? Yes. Use your Sec 1, Sec 2 knowledge. Is this a straight line? Why not? Because our straight line, we learned that it's supposed to be y equals to mx plus c, right? Small y, small x. And in our Sec 1 and Sec 2, we always use small y, small x as our vertical horizontal axis. So from here, we can tell, hey, it's not going to be a straight line. However, yesterday, we learned that as long as you can convert it into the form big Y equals to m big X plus c, then it will be a straight line, right? In this case, can you tell me what is our big Y equal to? Small y. M is equal to? Big X? Good. And our c? Negative b. Therefore, this one is not a straight line, because we've got small y, small x. But if I've got big Y equals to y, I've got big X equals to 1 over x, I will now get a straight line. Do you understand? And if I were to draw this straight line out, according to the... Okay, suppose I come up with my own straight line. I plot in the values, and I get something like this. For example only, if I get something like this, can you tell me what is this value over here? What does this represent? Good. This is negative b. So, okay, so this number, this vertical axis intercept, it lies above my horizontal axis, right? Therefore, this value must be positive or negative? Positive. If it is written as negative b over here, what can you infer about the sign of b? B must be negative, because negative times negative, then I'll get positive. Understand how it works? Okay, good. So now if I do have a straight line, and I will be able to find the gradient. So maybe I have another point over here. Together with the vertical axis intercept, once I find the gradient, m equals gradient equals to something minus something over something minus something. And then let's say I get a value of 3. What does this 3 represent? This represents A, which is in this case M. Understand how it works? Okay, so you must know the difference between the axes. Okay, this is small y, small x. However, on the other side, this will be our big Y, which happens to be small y, and our big X, which in this case will be 1 over x. Alright? Okay, now, the question says that, back to the work example, they gave you a graph. It has a vertical axis of x, y, and a horizontal axis of x. This is the origin. Then they've got 2 points. 2, 4. 6, 2. With 2 points on a straight line, what do you think you can calculate? Definitely, right. Just calculate the gradient first, okay? So over here, we've got gradient equals to 4 minus 2 over 2 minus 6, which is negative half. Alright, this is one thing which we can obtain. Can I obtain the y-intercept, the vertical axis intercept? Do I have the vertical axis intercept from the graph? Have or don't have? Don't have. Okay, never mind. Then you see that, this is actually our big Y. This is our big Y, right? And then this will be our big X. Now our job is to change this into a form of big Y equals to m big X plus c. And we know that there are many ways of doing it. In fact, we already said that big Y can be small y, big X can be 1 over x. But does that tally with this graph? No, right? What did they choose big Y to be? What did they choose big X to be? Do you know how to convert the original equation such that big Y is xy? Okay, what do we need to do? Times x. Okay, so xy, here we multiply by x. Xy equals to a minus bx. Am I right? Okay, from here, our big Y is obviously our xy. What does this a represent? Okay, this is our c. In other words, our vertical axis intercept. What does the minus b represent? Gradient, which is m. Which we already found, right? Why isn't b half? What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay, at this point, anybody lost? You all know that negative b is the gradient, right? Which we already found from the gradient is equal to negative half, right? Can you tell me the value of b now? Half. Straightforward as that. Okay? And now our small x is our big X. Okay? So now they ask us to find the value of a and of b. Okay, we found that gradient is negative half already. Therefore, negative b equals to negative half. B equals to half. B is done already. What else is left? A. Or rather, A and C, they are the same in this case. Are you allowed to go and extend and then try and pray that it is drawn to scale and then go and read off? Not allowed to. So, can you give me a suggestion of what can we do to find? Sub the gradient and one coordinate into which equation? This is equation number 1, this is equation number 2. Which one do you sub in? Sum into 2, because this straight line over here is for equation number 2. Okay, so which point do you want to choose? 2, 4 or 6, 2? Sure, 6, 2. So we have substituting. Just to make it very clear to all of you, this 6 over here is our big X value, which is our same as small x in this case. Our 2 over here is our big Y value. This is 2, which equals to xy over here. It is not equal to small y, okay? You must get this right. Okay, so now you are saying sub 6 2. So 2, that is our big Y, equals to gradient, negative half, times the big X, which in this case is 6, plus C. Okay? So now equals to negative 3 plus C. C equals to 5, which is equals to A. Am I right? From this we know that the equation of straight line is y, capital big Y equals to negative half x plus 5. Okay? Yes. Any questions? Then next. Okay, wait. You sub small x or big X? Small y or big Y? Huh? Okay. Yes? Gradient. This entire thing is my gradient. Okay? The value of b is half. Value of b is half. So negative b equals to negative half. Negative b is the gradient. B is not the gradient. Okay? Therefore, it slopes downwards. It tallies with the equation. Can? Yes? Okay, if the question, did they ask you to find the equation? No, they didn't. So you are supposed to write this as your equation if they ask you for the equation of straight line. Okay, then of course you must find the value of a and b lah. So in this case, we will get xy equals to negative half x plus 5. This is the equation of a straight line. Okay, the one in black is acceptable if you tell me what is big Y, what is big X. Okay? Now part 2. Find the value of y when y equals to 6 over x. So for this, all we need to do is to just substitute. Substitute inside here. Okay? Find the value of y. Okay, so every time you see the y, find y when y equals to 6 over x. Just do substitution. Okay, so x times 6 over x. Okay, I'm literally copying down. And then y is 6 over x equals to negative half x plus 5. Okay, so far? So no more y here already, right? But what will be my leftover variable? X. Then when I have x, will I be able to find y? Yeah, I'm sure I can. Okay, so from here, cancel, cancel. 6 equals to, 6 minus 5 equals to negative half x. X must therefore be equals to negative 2. So the question was to find y. Am I right? So you see there are a few places you can substitute it back inside. I think the easiest will be to substitute it back here. Right? Okay, so sub back inside. So y equals to 6 over negative 2, which is negative 3. Okay, so that's done. Any questions? No. Are you ready to try yourself? Yes. Okay, try it now. Practice now 3, question 1. Right? What is the first thing, what is one of the things that we can find from our graph? Given 2 points. Gradient, yes. So gradient equals to 3 minus 2 over 4 minus 1, and we get 1 over 3. What does this gradient correspond to? This 1 over 3. Yeah, it corresponds to m. So now, are you able to tell me the value of a? Can you tell me the value of a? 3. 3, yes, that's it. So from here, a equals to 3. I've got a already, I need to find b. So what can we do to find the value of b? B is over here. B is found in the vertical axis intercept, but I cannot extrapolate. So what do I do? Sub the gradient and a point into an equation. Okay, which point do you want to choose? 1, 2 or 4, 3? 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2 sounds much easier. So sub 1, 2 inside. 2 equals to 1 over 3. 1 plus b over a, and a is found to be 3. Okay? Take note that this 1 over here represents our x squared, which is here. This 2 represents our 1 over y. 2 represents our 1 over y. So we are substituting them all inside, and we get 2 equals to 1 over 3 plus b over 3. So to make b the subject, multiply throughout by 3, 6 equals to 1 plus b, b equals to 5. I'm going to erase some parts so that we make some space. What? Okay, so Chen Chua is suggesting that, hey, how about we just substitute our a and b inside here? So we get x squared y plus, what do we say b was? 5y equals to 3, right? This is also an equivalent equation. Then in part 2, they say find the value of y when 2x squared y equals to 1.
Then x squared y equals to half.
Very good. X squared y equals to half. So we see, he noticed that actually the x squared y was found over here. That's why he chose this step to do the manipulation and the substitution. So let us substitute this inside here. We get half plus 5y equals to 3. Multiply throughout by 2, we get 1 plus 10y equals to 6. 10y equals to 5. Y equals to half. Now that's the answer already. So if the question says find the value of x, do you know how to continue? Just substitute into anywhere that has an equation that is an equation of x and y. Then you'll be able to find it already. Okay? let us start doing homework question from exercise 7A. Exercise 7A. Question 3. Let's start with 3A. Huh? Find the gradient. Okay, gradient equals to 6 minus -2 divided by 8 minus 0. And we get 1. Then? So you write big Y equals to 1 big X. Okay? But look weird, right? 1 big X. Do we need to write the 1? No need, So it's just X, then plus C. Okay, then? Okay. Do you really need to submit anything to find C? Do we already know because this C over here represents the big Y intercept, right? Right? Do we already have it from the graph? So actually don't need to sub already lah. What is the value of C? -2, yeah, you're right, be more confident. So we have big Y equals to X minus 2. This is our C. It is our big Y intercept. Okay, even if you substituted the values in, you'll still get the same thing. Okay, then what next? Okay, X plus Y minus 2. Then? Okay, so Y equals to X squared minus X minus 2, right? Okay, so class, this is the answer. This is meant to be a quadratic curve. It will give us a parabola when I plot Y against X, small y against small x. But the moment I change it to plotting X plus Y against X squared, I get a straight line. Okay? Now let's move on to part B, which is also your homework question, 3B. Log Y and X. But this time, they do not give you the vertical axis intercept. But we are still able to calculate the gradient really easily.
I got everything correct other than the C.
Okay, then we use Ariel's work. So after you get a gradient 4/5, what do we do?
You put into the big Y equals to 4, 5, big X plus C.
Okay, then
Then you sub the 2,
2, 1. Okay, so what is the value of Y?
The value of Y is 1.
Okay, big Y is 1 equals to 4/5 times 2 plus C. So now we want to find out what C is. What do you find it to be? -3/5. Okay, so means if I were to extend, which I didn't draw very well, it is meant to be something like this. Okay, -3/5. Log Y and X. Okay, then what do we do next? After you have found the vertical axis intercept,
You sub the values in.
sub back inside here, right? Okay, so big Y equals to 4/5, big X minus 3/5. Then?
You make the big Y into log X and the big X into
Okay, so log Y, now we are doing the replacement, equals to 4/5, X minus 3/5.
Then you change the exponential form.
Change to exponential form, or what will we have?
Y equals to 10 power 4/5 X minus 3/5.
What, I forget everything already.
That's it.
Finish already?
I
Who got this correct? By yourself.
got to do that.
Okay, getting fewer and fewer. For your work, look at the screen. This is very important. Look up, look up. Do you find this phrase in the question? X against Y squared over X squared over Y in your question. in question 5. Can you find that phrase? Can you highlight it or underline it? Now, this tells us that vertical axis, which is actually our big Y, equals to which one? Is it x or x squared over y? Which one is it? X. It is x. This tells us that our horizontal axis is actually our big X, which is x squared over y. Okay? When I plot something against something, the first thing that I say will be my vertical axis. Always plot y against x. So because if you don't know this, then you cannot determine what the gradient represents. Is it the change in x squared over y against x or the other way around? Okay? So with this, I can do a rough sketch. The resulting line has a gradient of 3 and x-intercept of 4. This is my big Y, this is my big X, and we said that big Y was actually X. Our big X equals to x squared over y. So it has a gradient of 3 sloping upwards. And they say that it has an x-intercept of 4. In the question, x-intercept of 4. Tell me, this x-intercept refers to vertical or horizontal axis intercept? This x-intercept of 4, according to the question, refers to the vertical or horizontal axis intercept? Who says vertical? Who says horizontal? Why do you all think it's horizontal? Huh? So let's try again. Some of you seem to be changing your mind. Who thinks that this x-intercept of 4 refers to the vertical axis intercept? Raise your hand. Who thinks it represents the horizontal axis intercept? Raise your hand. Okay, the answer is vertical. Why? Why is it vertical axis intercept? Look at what I have drawn over here. Our big Y is small x, right? So this part may be a bit confusing, but you just need to know that our big Y represents the linear form, which in this case, the question said that we are plotting x against y, x squared over y. So we earlier on established that big Y is actually small x. So when they say that, hey, the small x intercept is 4, they are therefore referring to this one, this vertical axis. Okay? Our horizontal axis over here is x squared over y. If they are referring to my horizontal axis intercept, they will say x squared over y intercept. Alright? So now, what is my vertical axis intercept? Value 4. And it slopes upwards. This is what the graph looks like. So it is a 4, and this has a gradient equals to 3. Okay? With a gradient and one set of coordinates. Do we have a set of coordinates here already? Yes, of course. This is my coordinate, 0, 4. With the gradient and one set of coordinate, can I find the equation of a straight line?
Yes.
Yes, I can. What is the equation then? What do I need to do?
Sub in the
Sub in the
gradient.
gradient and the coordinate into the equation. What is the equation called? And don't say y when you don't mean y. What do you mean? Some of you want to do it straight away. X equals to 3x squared over y plus 4. Some of you want to do it this way straight away. If you can see it clearly, good for you. If you can't, substitute it back into our big Y equals to 3 big X plus 4. Then from here, we substitute our big Y with X equals to 3. Our big X will be x squared over y plus 4. So some of you are actually skipping this step, which is fine. Okay? Any questions? Question? So from here, we can express y in terms of x already. So make y the subject. Oh yeah, times y throughout. X, y equals to 3x squared plus 4y. And then? What do? I got 2y. Move over, okay, x, y minus 4y equals to 3x squared. Y, x minus 4, 3x squared. Y equals to 3x squared over x minus 4. So part 1, done. So next, find the value of x when y equals to 48. Part 2, y equals to 48 equals to 3x squared over x minus 4. This one you can do yourself. How many values of x do you think you will get? Why? Why are you so sure? This is a quadratic. When you multiply over, you will get quadratic. There will be 2 answers for x. Once you have the 2 answers, substitute them back into the original equation to see whether you need to reject anything or not. Okay? Most likely you don't have to.